Today, the Iowa Hall Pride is going to tell you the story of Simon Roberts, a Davenport, Iowa native who became a pioneer in the sport of wrestling, not only within our state, but on the national stage.
Here in the heartland, this is the working man. These are the fields of dreams of American. No, you can't take that away, 'cause I want to stay here in the heartland. I'm here in the heartland.
Growing up in the 40s and 50s, equality for African Americans in Davenport had not quite been achieved, but no one told Simon Roberts. He would excel at Davenport, finishing as a straight A student, president of the student council, and captain of the wrestling and football team. Freshman year, Simon was towering 5'2" and was cut from the basketball team. His sophomore year, he was cut again, so he decided to take a shot at wrestling, and he would crack the varsity lineup that year. Suffering a knee injury in football his junior year, he would miss the first half of the wrestling season to come back and qualify for state. 1954, his senior year, he would make history by becoming the first African American in Iowa to win an individual state championship in wrestling, and Davenport would also win the team title. He would finish his prep wrestling career with a record of 43, 6, and 3. Simon would continue wrestling at the University of Iowa, where he'd be runner-up in the Big Ten at 147 in 1957, but he went on that year to become an individual national champion, becoming the first African American in the NC2As to win an individual title. His senior year, he'd be the Big Ten champion, making it back to the Nationals as the #1 seed, but would lose in an overtime match in the first round, finishing his collegiate wrestling career with an impressive 62, 8, and 4 record. During his high school and college career, Simon Roberts would wrestle Ron Gray twice. First in 1954, where Simon Roberts became the first African American to win an individual state championship, defeating Ron Gray. Ron Gray went on to be a 3-time state champion in Iowa, and could have possibly become the first 4-timer in our state, which Bob Steenledge would accomplish that in 1962. In 1957, Simon Roberts once again faced off against Ron Gray in the Nationals, and that is when Simon Roberts defeated Ron Gray to become the first African American to win an individual national championship. Ron Gray went on to have a very successful wrestling career, being a 2-time national champ in college and the longtime head coach at Kent State. Simon Roberts is a member of multiple Hall of Fames, and he continued to lead after his wrestling career as a coach, an educator, and always giving his time for public service. As a reminder to all of our Iowa visitors, thanks to our partner Musco Lighting, all Iowa students receive free admission to the Iowa Hall of Pride. We recently sat down with Drake Ayala to talk about his wrestling career and what it means to be involved in student-based activities. Be sure and check out his full interview coming out this Friday. And while you're in Des Moines for the state wrestling tournament, come down to the Iowa Hall of Pride to discover more.
In 4 years, hopefully I'm continually getting better at wrestling and as a person, and hopefully I'm doing good in school at Iowa and having success on the mat too. So.
Absolutely. What does it mean to be an Iowan?
An Iowan? Tough, gritty, just really from the Midwest. I mean, when you go out to those national tournaments, there's kids from Cali and stuff like California and Florida. They're just like all slick, and I just like being from Iowa. We're tough, you know. We like this cold weather. We embrace it, so I like it.
So these are all grouped together, and if you pull them up, sometimes they're all in one clump, so we call this a hillbilly corsage. Went from Fort Dodge, ended up wrestling at Iowa State, did my student teaching at Ankeny after I graduated from Iowa State University, and got a teaching job and a head coaching job like 2 years out of college there. So that's how I ended up there. I was a head coach for 28 years, and I was a teacher there for 32 years. There really wasn't much of a transition for me from the competing part to the coaching. I think it all went together, and I had great coaches in all the way up, you know, middle school, high school, and beyond, college obviously. Working a year under Bob Sharp, he was the head coach at Ankeny. I was his assistant for a year, and then, you know, moving on to the coaching position, it was an easy transition for me, and now I'm still in the sport, involved with different committees, giving back and trying to help grow the sport, and we're actually trying to help with get girls wrestling started in the state of Iowa too. It taught me work ethic, it taught me commitment, sacrifice, and all those things. And not only those things, but how you benefited from those things. And I've always worked hard and believed in myself and tried to help others believe in themselves too, and help other people grow with just self-confidence and those kind of things. Frank Gotch's and the Dan Gables and the many others from the state that were so prominent here in this state, the farm state and the work ethic state, and that's what people did. You know, they became good at what they did, and our nucleus of wrestling is so tight-knit in the state of Iowa. We're not a big state, but we're one of the best states in the country as far as wrestling goes. See if you can see him. Oh yeah, hunker down right there.
He's here every day.
Really?
Or she.
The mom sits it, right? Yeah.
Once you guys start, I'm going to have to turn around. All three of you look at me.
Okay.
Take your photo.
Oh, this is great.
Top knot there.
Watch on. Now, Blake, no pressure, but if you fall, you just got a new knee and he didn't. So.
That's right.
Waterproof, not so much.
What already?
Yep.
How'd you get into Morel Mushrooms?
My mother had an interest, and she would take us. We would go with her. My dear mother never even got her driver's license. She raised kids and taught us how to have fun in life.
Yep.
And so that's how it began. And then all my brothers and I still do it. I have 4 brothers, and so we'll all kind of have a spring competition to see who can get the most. They all live in different parts of the state. But that's just one of the things that kind of helps us keep in touch, you know, those things that you learn. I just said a prayer over there when I was by myself that we'd find some mushrooms today. I should have just said Blake over here. You see that yet?
Yeah, that one there.
Oh, I missed that one. That's good. Usually there's more than one, right?
Yeah.
I use a mesh bag because the theory is that the spores from the mushrooms will drop out while you're traveling through the forest and seed themselves. Nationwide, depending on how much moisture you got in the ground, it is about a 4 to 6 week window. And there needs to be a lot of moisture in the ground. We had a really harsh winter, a lot of moisture in the ground, a lot of snow in the ground, and then you need it to warm up. And that's when the morels pop up, and like for example, here's one right here. That's when you have a good season. And I've read where it takes 5 years for the spores to recycle, where they'll come up again from the same spot you picked before. So I don't know if there's any truth to that, because like I said earlier, it's not a commercial product. We don't know. There's kind of some mysteries, you know, surrounded around them. So I was in here a week ago to the day, and I marked this spot with these, so I would find it again easy, these pulls. And then we got here, and look what we discovered today. Take a look at this action. Big as my hand. And look where it's at, right at the base of the posts. So
That's great.
It paid big dividends to come back here, right? Take off pretty good to give us some good crackle.
Yeah, well then we can try a little boat, see what happens. There we go. It's full circle right here.
We're using the wood stove in the boot shop here, and what a great day. We got about, I don't know, 50 or 70 mushrooms, and we're going to cook them right here in the boot shop in the wood stove and get this heat hot enough. Yeah, that's fine.
All right, here we go.
All right, we're running.
That's really good. You could eat those by like the handful here.
Yeah. First mushroom.